It's not easy to spend a lot of time looking at this sort of story. My name is Helen Fisher, and I'm the Global Gender Persecution Specialist for Open Doors International. I've had the opportunity to go to Central African Republic a half a dozen times now and done hundreds of interviews with women. And there is a recurring pattern in that country that then repeats itself in other countries. The militia would come through and go door to door and bring an entire family out, for example, into the street. They would first torture and then kill the husband and the older boys, while the women and the younger children watched. And then they would rape the women and the older girls. This leaves the younger children severely traumatized, and the women and girls are left to carry on. We might think that these attacks are the most horrific part of what has happened, but some of the women that I've talked to would actually argue that it's been what came afterwards that was most difficult for them, which was months and years of trying to pick up the pieces and feed their children in a context where they were immediately labeled as adulteresses. They lost the roof over their heads. They had no access to medical care. If they were able to produce something to sell at the market, nobody would buy it from their hands because it was an unclean hand. And so this leaves an entire family that's left unable to rebuild. It means that those children who are left will not have any access to education, and the future of the church is in tremendous jeopardy because of what happens afterwards as well. These scenarios and these situations on the ground are incredibly devastating. They're hard for us to hear. They're hard stories to tell. If there's a glimmer of good news, it's that these ripples of damage can actually be stopped and contained by how the church responds. It is important for us as a body of Christ to be aware of the realities in the church and ask ourselves, when we hear something that's happening in another part of the world, what is happening to my brother or sister in that country? As you hear about this and are processing it right now, just ask yourself before the Lord, what is it that I should do? What is it that you would have me do in order to support my brothers and sisters who are suffering for your name? The Lord really convicted me that this was not actually about women and girls. It was about us as a reflection of who He is. It was about Him.